And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Coughlin versus Willis, step forward.
21-year-old Kelly Coughlin is suing her ex-boyfriend, 20-year-old Larry Willis III, for the return of money she loaned him to buy a car.
Mr. Willis, the plaintiff was your girlfriend for a while, is that right?
That's true.
And at some point she was in the hospital.
Yes.
When was that?
I was about May when we broke up.
No.
Shh.
It's not. It was January.
Listen to me. Say nothing.
It was around May when we
ask
broke
you,
up.
Say nothing unless I ask you a question.
I'm just saying it was January 2011.
No, listen to me. Stand. I want you to be quiet unless I ask you a question.
Okay.
Okay? When was she in the hospital? You said about May when we broke up?
I think it was around May, yes.
And while she was there, you came to visit her?
Yes.
And she gave you some money?
Yes, Your Honor.
While she was in the hospital?
That's true.
What did she give you the money for?
It was to purchase a vehicle.
To buy yourself a car?
Yeah, I was having problems getting back and forth.
I don't care.
Oh, all right.
The money was to buy you a car?
Yeah.
Now, when you went to visit her in the hospital, she was feeling poorly?
Mm-hmm.
What was wrong with her?
I think she had Crohn's disease.
How long had she been in the hospital?
For about 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
That's a long time in the hospital. And what possessed you to ask her for money when your girlfriend was in the hospital for 2 or 3 weeks for a car?
She was living with me at the time, and
No,
I was
not.
Judge,
I was
did
not.
you
I was paying
understand?
her-
I'm going to
I was
dismiss
paying
your
her
case.
rent.
Just a second. I'm going to dismiss your case.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
It's going to be finished for you.
Okay.
Got it?
Yep.
Her mom actually kicked her out, so
No,
I
no,
gave her a
listen
place
me.
to stay.
I just want to know.
I'm just telling you what happened.
I don't want to know
You
what
asked me a
happened.
question.
Listen to me. This is not some therapeutic program. This is a court. I asked you a specific question. What prompted you, when your girlfriend was in the hospital for 2 or 3 weeks with Crohn's disease, to at that time say to her, I want money to buy myself a car? It just would seem
Because I needed transportation.
You needed transportation.
Yeah, to get
Did
back
you-
and forth to school and work.
Just a second. What were you using for transportation before?
The public transportation, the bus.
How long had you been using public
For
transportation?
about 6 or 7 months.
So it was a long time.
Yeah.
Yes would be the answer.
Yes.
Okay. So now here's what I have. I have you using public transportation to get where you wanted to go, to and from. And you had been using that form of transportation for a long time. Your girlfriend goes into the hospital with a serious disease. She's there for 2 or 3 weeks. And it's at that time that you decide you don't want to take public transportation anymore. Now you want a car.
That was already discussed before then. That's not the first time the car situation has been brought up.
I'm sure. But it wasn't resolved before she went into the hospital. Do you understand what that means?
Yeah?
Yes, would be the answer. But the car issue was not resolved before she went into the hospital. So why, at that time, did you choose to ask her for money?
Because I needed a car and I was in school.
Very good. Now, do you know where she got the money from?
She started working in April.
Great.
For about a month.
So she was working for 1 month.
Yeah.
She was working for 1 month. What kind of work was she doing?
She was working at Sanford Who's Who's. It's like she picks up the phone and answers for the people who call in.
Do you know how much money she was making?
I'm not sure, but I know she was making good money.
What's good money?
Probably bringing in like $700 a week.
$700 a week. And how long hadn't she been working?
She wasn't working the whole time she lived with me.
So she landed this $600-700 a week job, and she had it for a month. And that's where she saved up this money.
Well, it was commission too. So she was selling a lot of stuff for the company, so they gave her a lot of money in commission.
How much is a lot?
I'm not sure. I didn't see her pay stubs.
So now I want you to tell me how much money she gave you.
$1,000.
Where did she get it from?
Her.
What do you mean her?
In the hospital.
She had
handed it to
cash
me.
in the hospital?
Yep. She must have already had it on her.
And she kept it there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
She kept it there in the room?
Yes, Your Honor.
The $1,000. Did she have more than $1,000?
I'm not sure.
When did you see the $1,000?
It was around May.
Where was it when you saw the $1,000?
In the hospital room.
Tell me where. In a drawer, under the mattress?
She just pulled it out.
She pulled
Yeah,
it
pulled
out.
it out of a bag or something.
She pulled it out of a bag or something. And what did she say to you when she pulled it out of a bag or something?
She gave it to me because I asked for it.
What did she say to you?
Here you go.
What did you say to her?
Thank you.
No, before she took out the money.
Oh, she already knew that I was planning to borrow the money for a car.
That's just what I wanted to know. Perfect. Oh, it's so good. I knew the more we got to talk. You see,
Yes.
when I tell you to be quiet.
I didn't borrow the money,
When I
though.
tell you to be quiet,
I see
you're
why.
supposed to be
I see
quiet,
why.
right?
Yes.
Judging for the plaintiff for the amount of $1,000.
All these other students when they step out. Leave your paperwork there, please.
I'm extremely happy This has been a long time coming. I mean, he's owed me for a year now, and I'm just happy I finally have my money and we can just cut ties. I was sick. I was very sick and out of the hospital for 8 months, and my body was worn down, and when he asked me, it was perfect timing for him, not for me.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Hario versus O'Brien. Step forward.
Marife Hario is suing her former co-worker, Zena O'Brien, for a loan to have breast augmentation surgery.
Miss Hario, you and Miss O'Brien worked together?
Yes, used to.
Used to?
Yes.
How long?
From 2002 until 2010.
And she took out a loan for you.
Correct.
Is that right?
Yeah.
When?
2009.
For what?
It was for breast augmentation.
How much was it?
It was a total of 5,800.
Why did you ask her for the money?
Actually, I didn't ask, she offered.
Explain that to me.
We were working together and she knew I wanted the breast implant. That she did offer to do it. We went to one doctor, but he turned me down because of health issues. And then I found another doctor that would do it, and Mary Faye offered to take the loan on in her name.
That's a lie.
Don't speak when I don't speak to you. Now, what was your arrangement with her?
The arrangement was that I would make the payments, which I did. I paid everything all in full. I lost my job.
Just a second. So you paid everything in full? Is that what you're telling me?
Not to the end of the payments.
Well,
no.
that's what I'm asking you.
Okay.
You didn't make the payments.
Not all the way to the end.
Why not?
I was going to do it, but then Mary Faye, she got arrested for shoplifting. And she told me that if I didn't arrest her for emptying my bank account, that...
How much do you owe her on the loan?
I think it was 3,000 something left.
How much is left on the loan?
2,881.
Have you been making payments on the loan?
Yes, ma'am.
Show me.
Those are all the money orders.
How many payments of $58 did you make?
Just once. The others are $65.
How many payments of $65 did you make?
3 times.
Okay, $3,045 is left on the loan. So that you owe her. Now, you have a counterclaim in which you say she emptied your bank account. That you have to prove to me.
I have proof here.
I have...
No, tell me about it.
Okay, what happened is on April 20th, the bank account was emptied. I called the bank to ask what had happened. They said that Mary
You can't tell me what the bank said.
Okay, then. On this statement, it says that Mary Faye McQuillan, which was her name before, had done a phone order to make the payments to the finance company.
To which finance company?
The people that financed the bread, which I never authorized these payments.
Did you authorize the bank to make payments out of her bank account?
No.
Tell me what you did.
When she asked me to help her to get a loan, at first I don't want to do it.
We're past that.
Okay, she's the one who set up everything. She's the one who put her bank account there so the lender can take that money automatically from her bank account.
Well, if the lender takes the money automatically from a bank account, you're not out any money.
I'm sorry, ma'am?
How much money did the lender take out of your bank account?
It was a total of $457.
Oh, get it over it. A total of $400 on $3,000? You take that up with the lender. Your counterclaim is dismissed.
Your
counterclaim is dismissed.
You
owe her $3,045.
I don't know a damn.
You owe her $3,045.
I have proof here that if you take a look at these, it was taken out of my bank account.
I just asked you how much was taken out of your bank account.
It was the total of $465.57. I did make payments on that, Your Honor.
$3,000 was left on the loan.
And she promised to pay it if I wouldn't have it arrested.
Get over it. You sound like ridiculous. How old are you?
50.
You don't sound like you're 50.
Well, believe me, I am.
You owe $3,045, and if the
Your
lender...
Honor, I contacted the bank to ask can you lower the payment.
Listen to me. I don't care.
I do.
I don't care.
I do.
Well, I don't care if you care.
Proof here that I
Listen
contacted
to me. I don't care if you care. She signed a loan for you. She took out a loan for you, and the entire purpose... Stop shaking your head.
Then I should have had her arrested when she...
Nothing is for nothing.
I didn't say
you
it
got
was, Your
nothing
Honor.
is for nothing. You needed help. She helped you.
I've
she
helped
helped
her
you.
in a lot of ways.
She helped you. The fact that you lost your job is not her fault. The
I
fact
didn't
that you're
lose
not
my job. I still made the payments for 2 years after I wasn't working. And I called the bank.
You stopped making the payments.
Your Honor, I didn't. I called Mary Faye to tell her that the bank would renegotiate the loan. I was willing to pay.
You owe her $3,045. Judgment for the plaintiff. Your counterclaim's dismissed. That's all.
Party's not excused. You may step out.
I'm not rich to pay for his boob job.
She told friends that we used to work with that I ripped her off.
He's making a lot of makeup stories. I mean,
They've told me about it, and I'm a scam artist. I'm not a scam artist.
like bad stuff against me when I did for her just to help her. I mean, him, I'm sorry, I'm kind of like confused now.
As far as I'm concerned, now our friendship's done and that's it.
I don't want to near him, that kind of people. I don't want to near him.
Mr. Tosh, tell me, you rent a house to whom?
I rent my house to Mrs. Gramlich.
So you own the house?
Yes.
And is it a two-family house?
No, it's a single-family house, but I just put a dividing wall in the hallway.
So it's a one-family house
Yes.
that you've turned into a two-family house?
Yes.
Do you require any permits to have a tenant?
I already changed the wall back the way it was in the...
So the answer is when you were renting to them, you weren't allowed to do that?
Correct. They knew that when they
Don't tell
applied.
me what they knew. I didn't ask you what they knew. I'm asking you.
Okay.
You put up a wall,
Yes.
but you knew you weren't supposed to put up a wall.
Yes, but I told them when they came to see.
I didn't ask you.
Okay.
Talking about you. They didn't put up a wall.
Okay.
You put up a wall.
Yes.
All right, fine. And they moved into your house, according to you, in November of 2011.
Yes.
Problems started with them in July.
Yes.
How much were you charging them for rent?
$13.95 plus 50% of utilities.
And what's your mortgage payment?
Around $6,000.
$6,000 a month?
Yes.
That includes your taxes?
Yes.
So November they paid their rent?
Yes.
December they paid their rent?
Yes.
January?
Up to... Yes.
Let's do it my way.
Yes.
January?
Yes.
February?
Yes.
March?
Yes. Late.
April?
Late.
May?
Yes.
And June?
Yes.
And July?
Yes.
Paid their rent. And you didn't move to evict them.
No, because everything was...
Just my way.
Yes.
Or the highway. And you didn't move to evict them because everything was fine.
Yes.
You're living on one side of the wall, they're living on the other side of the wall.
True.
Something happened in July.
Yes.
Each of you has a different response to what happened in July. I'm going to let you tell me what your situation was, your eyes, in July. Go.
Before July, she started missing stuff around my house, including my tools. I'm doing electric work. And the final moment when I got upset, he moved the backup generator I have for emergency situation. He moved it on the side of the house in the bushes to try to take it away. So I asked him, why did you do that? Why did you touch my generator? He goes, no, I didn't touch anything. I said, it's over 200 pounds. Your daughter cannot touch that. It's too heavy. And he starts arguing with me, he started insulting me. So I said, you know what, that's okay. So I left. I drove directly to his previous landlord, Andre, the lady, and she told me I'm in big trouble. I said, why am I in big trouble?
You can't tell me what she told you, Mr. Tosh.
Okay.
So after you had some conversation with him, then you went to his previous landlady.
Yes.
And then what did you do? You came back.
I came back.
And what did you do?
I said, I'm sorry, you guys have to leave. I said, I called my lawyer. I'm nicer than my lawyer. He told me to give you 30 days. I'm going to give you 45 days and the deposit back if you move. They said, no, they're not going to move. And he started being aggressive. He pushed me in the front. He went out. He pushed me in the back. I said, you know, why are you doing this? Because he was very polite before. And he started cussing at me. I told her to see what he's doing to me. And he bent down. He got a big flashlight, police-type flashlight. He hit me in the shoulder. And I said, you know what, I'm out of here. You are too aggressive for me. So I went to outside. I called the police. The police showed up. They knocked on his door. He said he's not going to open because they don't have a warrant. The gentleman told him that they don't need a warrant. He did a felony. And then I don't know what they talked to each other. The police asked me if I have any injuries. I said he hit me in the arm because I turned around. They asked him if he has any injuries. He said no. Then they left. The next day, because he's an expert with this kind of trouble, his background tells you that, he went and put his standing order against me. I thought it's ending of the problem, no? He started following me. He started insulting me every day. He put his friends to follow me. I have tapes. And I went to put his standing order against him. We went to court. The judge says because he has his standing order against me and I evict him, it's not necessary to load the court with more papers. So I said, okay, that's fine. But he didn't stop. He didn't stop, and he still don't stop. He's calling me every day or almost every day, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Doesn't make sense to me, Mr. Tosh. Some things that you say don't make sense to me. And I don't know, I haven't heard them yet. But you have tenants for 8.5 months who pay their rent on time, no trouble. All of a sudden, he becomes trouble?
I didn't want them to leave. I want them to stay.
Well, if you didn't want them to leave and if you wanted them to stay, what did you go to his former landlady for?
Because I see he's stealing my stuff.
If you see people are stealing from you and you think you know who it is, you go to the police. That's what police do. Former landladies don't do private investigation
I didn't know
work.
this guy. I never went in my life, so that's the reason I went there, to see what is going on.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're not smart enough to know that if people are stealing from you, you go to landladies or you go to the police?
No, I want to see what kind of background they have, because...
Their background for the last 8.5 months as good tenants was with you. Now I have a couple of questions for you. In what month did they leave?
October
of 2012?
Yes.
And in what month did you take down the wall?
I took that a month after they left. I called the inspector 3 days ago.
You called who?
Building inspector.
When for the first time was the building inspector there or notified you that they were coming to inspect the house?
They didn't notify me. They come and knock on the door.
And the first time they came to knock on your door, you're telling me, was in September?
Yes, because he called them.
Oh, interesting. He called them because you were evicting him.
Yes, he got mad because he's going to get evicted.
Did you ever file a police report with regard to the stolen items that you allege he stole from you?
I called the police and... No, I didn't.
So the answer is no.
The answer is no.
Who lives in your house now?
I rented to another family.
For how much?
$2,900.
So they're renting for $3,000 a month?
The whole house.
And where are you living?
I'm going to go back to
Where are you
living? Now I
living?
live with a friend, my friends in South Pasadena.
Now, Mr. Tosh, what do you think these people owe you?
They owe me the damage they did on the plumbing.
I'd like to hear about what damage you claim that they did to the plumbing.
They put like 7-8 pounds of soil in the shower. Okay, this is the sample of the soil. And I have pictures from the plumbing.
Who collected the soil?
The plumber.
Where's the plumber?
He's supposed to be here. I got the pictures.
I'm not interested in the pictures. Listen to me. Show me no pictures. I don't know what kind of bag of dirt you got there, but unless you have somebody who can testify that they took that bag of dirt out of your pipes, and that bag of dirt represents 7 pounds of dirt that they took out of your pipes, and that based upon their expert opinion, that amount of dirt could not have gotten in your pipes for any reason other than sabotage, then I can't accept that.
You're right. I didn't know that.
Well, I know I'm right.
I didn't know that.
I love to be right. Being right is something that makes me feel cozy and comfy every day of my life. Now, you rented your house for twice as much as what they are paying you. You evidently did that.
This is a big house. It's not just that part.
So what? You're not out anything. So far, you're living with friends, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, other friends.
No, just friends.
Just a friend.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, just a friend. Great. Okay. So meanwhile, you took down the illegal wall that you weren't supposed to be renting.
It's a hallway.
Listen to me. Illegal. Did the building inspector tell you had to take down the wall?
It's just a 4-foot wall.
Did the building inspector tell you had to take down the wall?
Yes.
What else do you think they owe you for, Mr. Tosh?
For the air conditioning, they destroyed the air conditioning by playing with the hot and cold switch.
You have an expert to tell me that?
He broke the gate.
Just a second. Do you have an expert to tell me that the air
I
conditioning...
didn't know I have to bring experts, you know.
Well, you can't testify to that. You can't Wait. You can't testify that the air conditioning switch was broken as a result of turning it on and off and on and off, and that was not ordinary wear and tear. You're not an air conditioning man.
The house is 4 years old.
How do I know? I don't know. I don't
Okay.
care. What else?
If I have to bring experts for the gate, for the air conditioning, for the plumbing...
No, the gate is a different story. The gate, depending upon how you say the gate was destroyed...
I paid him doing that, and I give it to the technician.
Oh, that I'd like to see.
Yeah.
Just a second. You taped him destroying your gate?
Yes.
That I'd like to see.
You want the tape?
Yeah.
I don't have the tape. I give it to the detectives. But I have the pictures.
You have pictures of him destroying the gate?
I have the pictures of
Pictures of him destroying the gate. I'd like to see them.
I didn't know I have a video. I mean, on the...
What do you want from me? I'm not a mind reader. Do you have in your pictures of him destroying
after
the
he
gate?
Destroyed, I took a pictures.
No, I'm not interested in
Okay,
that. I'm interested in seeing a picture of him destroying your gate.
I understand. But he has an extended criminal record. I don't understand. How should I keep him in my house if he has an extended...
Listen to me, Mr. Tosh.
I want
you to listen to me carefully, sir. You are entitled to, as a landlord of a legal premises, to do a background check if you wish. Have somebody... You're not listening.
I'm listening.
You want to talk.
I'm listening.
Have you ever been married?
Yes.
How many times?
3 times.
3 times. There's a reason for that. I want you to try to listen. You're just supposed to listen and say yes. Then maybe you'd only be married once.
No, but if you...
Yes, dear would even be better.
Just one thing.
Just
one thing.
No. Listen to me, Mr. I really think you're cute, Mr. Taj.
Nobody.
You're wrong, but cute.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
Why don't you call your father?
I had talked to my father several times.
I mean, he spent the money too, right?
Correct.
Well, then why are you just suing your stepmother? That sounds ridiculous to me.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Michael Tosh says former tenants Carlos Flores and his wife Willow Gramlich vandalized his rental home.
Now, I don't like coincidences. Coincidences are as follows, Mr. Tosh. You have tenants who paid you the rent and had no problem with them for 9 months. Then, within a 3-month period of time, let's see what happens. You remove an illegal wall that you've put up. You rent your house for more than twice as much as they were paying.
They pay for a 2-bedroom. The house is 4,500 square feet.
Mr. Tosh, unless you want another failure under your belt, don't get married again, because you haven't learned. Yes, dear.
I'm too old to get one more time.
You're not too old. There's somebody out there.
I'm joking.
There's somebody out there. You'll find somebody who has such a need to nest that they will find you absolutely adorable. Unfortunately, you moved out of your house, because it would be far more attractive if you were a land baron.
No, I want to go back to Europe. That's the reason I left.
So you want to rent your house and go back to Europe?
Yes.
It's another reason. What else do you think they owe you for?
But so far I don't have any more...
Then we're finished here.
So can I take him back?
Goodbye. Thank you very much.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He claimed that the generator was moved, and he initially claimed it was moved by my 9.5-year-old daughter who had a broken arm.
They steal lots of stuff while they're living there for free.
When he realized how ridiculous it is to blame her, he started blaming me.
He's a convicted felon. He has extended criminal record.
I do have a criminal background, but I think that has no bearing on what's going on in this case.
And I wouldn't keep somebody like this in my property. Simple.
Mr. Toshi was wrong, and he brought this frivolous lawsuit against us, and just...
You're welcome.
Mr. Weissman, it is your claim that the defendant owes you some money for a loan that you made to her to do some home repairs on her house.
That's correct.
Am I correct that the two of you, after meeting, were in a relationship?
Correct.
Had a fair statement?
Yes, ma'am.
You had a home.
Yes.
Your home was in need of some repairs.
Yes.
Mr. Weissman, you agreed to lend the defendant money to fix her home. And at some point, she moved in with you to your home.
Correct.
When did she move in with you to your home, Mr. Weissman?
December 1st of 2011.
That's not correct. November 1st, 2011.
Okay. And when you moved into Mr. Weissman's home, you were living there as a couple. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, ma'am.
And I assume from the fact that the two of you appear to be well put together people, nobody has orange hair or weird things coming out of their head, that you were in a relationship that you thought might be a long-term relationship.
Yes.
Fair statement?
Yes.
All right. Then the idea came to both of you that you were going to stay with Mr. Weissman in his house and rent your house after the repairs were completed.
Yes, ma'am.
And out of the rental that you were going to get from that house, you were going to pay Mr. Weissman back the money for the repairs that you did on the house, because now it's an income-producing property. Is that a fair statement?
Partially.
Oh, it's more than partially. It's not what either one of you two are saying here in these statements, but that's what it sounds like to me. The problem is that the relationship went south before the money was paid back. A statement, Mr. Weissman?
Yes, it would be.
You know when I figured that out, Mr. Weissman? When I was walking through that door. Because I'm trying to figure out these complaints and answers, and nobody wants to tell me the truth. I love the truth. The truth sets you free. Now, when did you move out of Mr. Weissman's house?
End of May 2012, 1 week after my knee surgery.
May of 2012.
Correct.
And in what month did the tenants move into your house?
They moved in December 1st. They had 1 month free rent.
So they started to pay you rent in January?
Correct.
What was the rent?
$2,200.
A month. And they're still there?
Yes, ma'am.
Where are you living?
I live in Coronado by myself.
So you now have this rental property that you're able to make some money from, and it was owing to the fact that Mr. Weissman advanced you this money.
May I elaborate on that?
Sure.
Okay. When I hear the statement that he advanced me the money, I would like to present to the court, if I may, a money trail that says where the funds came originally.
Where did they come from?
I had an annuity that Mr. Weissman, being in the insurance business, approached me back in August and said, if you let me be your agent on file and take your annuity from annuity A to annuity B, I will get a commission and I will give you that commission. And with that deal, I fired...
And this was in August of...
2011. And I have documentation of...
Just a second, wait. Before I look at it, because if Mr. Weissman is going to make me read those things, and it's as you indicate that he did make money from the transfer of your annuity from one place to another, and if he's going to make me read all those, and I hate to read, but I will if I have to. And Mr. Weissman, did you make any money from the defendant transferring an annuity that she had from one place to you?
The answer is yes. I've been an insurance professional.
No. I don't care. This is not an advertisement for you, Mr. Weissman. The answer is yes, you made money.
Yes.
How much?
About $17,000, of which I returned $4,100 to her.
Just a second. You made $17,000. Now, when you made this $17,000, were the two of you living in your home?
I don't recall if she had moved out as yet or not.
You mean after May? Certainly, while this transaction was ongoing, you were sharing a bedroom.
Yes.
So you made $17,000, returned $4,000. That gives you $13,000.
Which is my profession.
Got it.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
May I?
Now, Mr. Weissman, I want to tell you this. I know that this is really unimportant for you. It is important for me, because I'm going to let you now tell me your side of the story. I want you to understand, it's sushi today for lunch. It's my favorite. Go.
She was my realtor and sold me the house I'm living in. And she made a very good commission. I don't know the exact amount. She returned nothing to me on that.
And what year was that, sir?
2011, May 9th, I bought my home.
And you were, in fact, not living together?
At that point, no.
No. So
we were dating.
Just a second. When she sold you your home, you didn't move in together, according to you.
Correct.
Until December of 2011, 8 months later, right?
Yes.
But when you made your money from the insurance that she transferred to you, you were, in fact, sharing a toothbrush. Go. I'm still with you, Mr. Weissman.
When I loaned her the money, it had nothing to do with any other transaction. She was going to pay me back in full when her alimony check came in, December 15th, 2011. When the alimony check came in, she ran over. Her alimony was December 2011. She got over $14,000.
Right, so she didn't pay you back.
Didn't pay me anything.
She didn't pay you back, and she didn't pay you anything back in January.
She paid me 2 checks, one of them totaling $1,000 on January 6th, and the other one February 24th, where she wrote down loan.
Just a second. Absolutely. Because at that time you were living together, correct? And your deal with her was you were going to live together, and from the money she got from renting the house, because the two of you were living in your residence, either sharing or you were taking care of the expenses. I don't know.
Your Honor, I paid all my expenses.
In his house?
In his house.
Well, what expenses did you pay in his house?
My own health insurance, all of my gas.
I'm not talking about yours. Of course you had health insurance.
Everything. Like, he didn't support me like a wife, is what I'm saying.
No, but he paid for his mortgage?
Yes.
Did you contribute to the mortgage?
No, ma'am. I contributed to the rent.
What rent?
I paid him 2 months' rent, $1,000 in January and $1,000 in February. He did not want me to put rent on it because he doesn't want to declare it as rental income. He told me, you're not paying rent, you're getting rent, you should be paying me rent. So I put on it loan because that's what he wanted.
No, I don't believe that at all. We're going to get back to the original concept of what I think this case is all about. That the two of you decided to live together. You thought it was going to be a while that you were going to be living together. You were going to rent your property so you wouldn't have any expenses. And from the income from that rental, you were going to return the $12,000 that he did in fact give you. But one of the considerations for that was that you were going to be living together in your house. Now, what would happen, Mr. Weissman, if she had a tenant? You're not living together anymore, and I don't really care whose fault that is. It's probably the best thing. But if she moved back into the house that she had to support, that wasn't your deal. I believe that you wrote loan on that, not for the reason that you said loan, because you weren't paying him rent. Had nothing to do with rent. It was the return of the $12,000 that was supposed to be paid from the rental income from your house.
May I?
Sure.
After several broken promises as to when I would get paid, she finally said, as a licensed realtor, that she would pay from the next real estate commission that she would receive. She had a referral that generated a commission that was paid to her on November 30th.
Just a second. You moved in together, according to you, in December 2011. You made this loan to her at about that time.
Correct.
She was going to pay you back starting the next month. You lived together until May of 2012. She didn't pay you back when she originally promised, according to you, that she was going to pay you back. Is that right?
Yeah, she stopped paying in February.
Just a second. She stopped paying in February. Did you sleep with her in February?
Yes.
Did you sleep with her in March?
Yes.
Did you say, get out of my house? No.
No.
That's your problem, Mr. Weissman. Because if you would stay together, we wouldn't be here.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today, Weissman says, His ex-girlfriend, Mashi Vafai, posed for a loan to make renovations on her home. Mashi says the money was commission Wayne made when he transferred her annuity fund.
Now, you had an arrangement, and your arrangement was that she was going to give you $1,000 every month until this amount of money was paid off, but that was consistent with the fact that you were going to be living in your house and you were going to be taking care of the bills. And that's how she was going to give the money back to you. And I don't feel sorry for you, sir, because I really don't. Because what happened is, it didn't happen. The contract, this oral contract that you had, wasn't fulfilled. She didn't stay with you. And now she's got to rent someplace else because she's got tenants in her house, which means the contract is null and void. And I don't feel sorry for you, sir, because you actually made from her $14,000, according to you, during the time that you were living together and sharing a toothbrush. $14,000. That more than covers the $12,000 loan. Less $2,000 because she made 2 payments when she was getting rent checks and living with you. So I don't feel sorry for you, Mr. Weissman, at all. Now I can go eat my sushi. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I cannot believe that I had to come to this level.
The money was due and payable. She promised to pay it, and she's a scoundrel.
Compromise my dignity to try to get my justice out of this man.
You don't handle your finances responsibly, as she didn't. She's a scoundrel.
I am just so delighted. I knew that she would come through and see right through him, that he's such a user and a taker.
I hope I never see her again, ever.
Please.
Ms. Cardenas, I assume that this is your husband?
Yes.
And this is your daughter?
Yes, ma'am.
And this is your daughter's boyfriend?
Yes, ma'am.
How old is your daughter?
18.
You were living in student housing. You attend university?
Yes.
Which you started in September of 2012. Is that correct?
It's September 2011, ma'am.
And is that when you started school?
Yes.
Get good grades?
Yes.
Great. You've got 4 kids?
Yes.
So that's a hard commitment to make to go back to school.
Yes.
Tell me why you decided to go back to school after 4 kids.
I've been an insurance agent since I was 19 years old, and I wanted to pursue my education.
Good for you. Anyway, you were living in student housing. You managed to get into student housing at a very reduced rent, which is $650 a month, according to your complaint.
Yes.
And it is your claim that because of this young man's behavior and conduct, you were evicted from student housing. You want him to pay all of the expenses surrounding your being evicted, having to move, having to find a new place, et cetera,
Yes.
et cetera. Since you have something to say about this, why don't you stand up next to boyfriend? Tell me your first name.
Vanessa,
Vanessa, you just heard several questions. Is anything she said to me untrue?
everything's correct.
So she's somebody who actually should be admired.
Correct.
Are you the oldest child?
No, I have an older brother who's 24.
Where does he live?
He right now lives with her.
What does he do?
Nothing.
She's lying.
What does he do?
He's a musician. He's been signed 2 years ago, and he has a band, and he's gone to Europe.
Okay, so he doesn't have a full-time regular job.
Correct.
What do you do?
Right now, I used to work, but right now I don't.
I ask you what you do now.
Nothing right now.
And what does he do?
He's a security guard.
That would be a fair statement that your mom not crazy about him.
Correct.
How long has she not been crazy about him?
3 years.
Okay. You want to tell me about the events that led to your being evicted from the complex?
Yes. A week before that, at the end of October 29th, Vanessa brought Garrick over to the dorm, and I didn't want him there.
Why?
And because he was being verbally abusive, and I heard them arguing in her room, and I told him to leave.
What did you hear him say to her?
You know, he was kind of putting her down because she was a waitress at the moment, and I didn't like it. So I told him to leave. That was 7 days prior to the incident. That morning, she called me and said, "Mom, meet me at the doctor's. I don't feel good." And I went there, and he was there. And I immediately ignored him. You know, I asked Vanessa, "Why is he here?" And she's like, "Oh, you know, he came with me. I wasn't aware that he was going to be there, but my daughter was sick, so I stayed." When we went inside the office, you know, Vanessa went and got weighed, and he got verbally abusive with me.
Well, just tell me what he said to you.
He was just saying that because he wanted to stay with us at the dorm, and I told him he was not allowed to because he was having problems, you know, with the people that he lived with.
So he wanted to move in with you?
Yes.
How large an apartment do you have?
It was just a 2-bedroom, 1-bath dorm.
Fine.
Okay?
You're right anyway.
Impossible. And it's not, he was not allowed to do that at my school.
Okay.
Okay, so then he was verbally abusive at the...
Well, so far, I didn't hear anything that he said that was abusive.
Okay, he told me I was a bad mother. He told me that I was a... And he told me that he would get me kicked out of my school.
Did you say that to her?
No. I did call her a bad mother.
Why did you call her a bad mother?
Because at the time, my girlfriend was working at a strip club, because she was a waitress at a strip club. She was trying to get some guy to put money into her account. She was trying to get some random guy to put money into her account.
Shh. No. Don't interrupt him. She was trying to get what?
My girlfriend had received a text from a guy, because some guy was supposedly offering to help her And then I was like, no, that's why I was highly mad. I was really mad about the fact of him trying to help her out. I was like, no, just, you don't need to get involved with no stranger because you never know what
is he talking about, Vanessa?
That some guy tried to put money into my bank account. Well, not my account, my mom's account.
What's this guy's name?
Just a random guy.
When I talk to you, you'll know it. What's his name?
I don't know his name.
Well, how did he sign?
He didn't. It didn't go through. None of that went through.
Well, tell me how it happened. I don't care what you told him. I want you to tell me who this guy was. Did you meet him at work?
Yeah, he was a guy at work.
And was he a customer or an employer?
He was a customer.
When did you meet him at work?
2 weeks into me working there.
And how long did you know him?
Just for like a month.
How much money did he want to put into your mom's bank account?
However much money I needed.
Whatever you wanted?
Correct.
How many times did your mother meet him?
She never met him.
Never met him?
Never.
Of course not. You got to get your story straight, Mr. Crawford. Nothing to do with the mother. Do you understand?
Yes.
So, why else do you think that she's a bad mother? So far, reason number one.
Can I say something?
What?
He was mad. Was because this was a complete stranger. I never talked to him, ever. I would just see him in my work. And he came up to me and, you know, told me, like, sweet-talking me that I was a beautiful girl and that he would want to help me out, that I shouldn't be in a place like that. And so then I was listening to him and we were sitting down talking, and then he told me, I can help you out. And so then I didn't accept it. I came home, I told my mother, and then I told my boyfriend first, and then he got mad, he got upset. And then my mom was all for it. That's why he got upset.
She was all for what?
For him putting money into my bank account.
Were you all for a stranger putting money in your daughter's bank?
No, she's lying. Garrick was calling her bad words because she worked there, and I never wanted her to work there. Vanessa doesn't have to work there, and I was against it. She's been working there since June, and I did not allow it. She went behind my back and did that.
She's lying.
Nah.
She.
Nah. You're not getting the whole story from over here, kid.
You haven't let me
got to grow up.
You haven't let me explain.
Yeah. First of all, did you ever ask to move into her apartment?
No, I never did.
Never asked to stay there?
No, never. I had a place at the time.
Great. Let's move beyond what happened in the doctor's office. Let's go to what happened that caused the brouhaha that got you kicked out of the dorm. Because you're still in school, I assume.
Yes. I had to transfer schools, though. I had to move out and transfer out of that school.
Why?
Well, because it was more expensive for me to travel miles away to my school. Well, the other house that I found is in another university, and it's a block away.
Okay.
But it's more costly monthly. I pay $1,400 for rent now, and before I paid $650 for rent.
Great. I'm waiting for the event.
Okay, so later on that night, with no phone call or nothing, she shows up wanting to move out. And I said, it's kind of late, you know, but okay, go ahead, take your stuff. And so she started moving her stuff out, and I was in my bedroom laying down, and all of a sudden I hear a commotion, and it's Mr. Crawford at the door. After I've already repeatedly told him 7 days before he was not welcome at my house, again, he came to my home after he already got verbally abusive that morning.
Well, just tell me what he said to you that was abusive.
He called me a bad mother. He called me a...
Did you file a police report of an assault at the doctor's office?
No, I left.
You left. Okay. Yes. Let's move on. So now he's at the house with your daughter. He's getting
moving
her stuff
out, and he's causing a fight in front of the dorm. And that's when my husband, you know, felt he was being abusive towards me, and he wanted him to go. And so we told him repeatedly to leave.
And?
He didn't leave.
And?
And can
I speak now, Your Honor?
Sure. And?
After we told him to leave repeatedly, he would not listen, and then he squared up. So I took it upon myself to defend where I live.
When you say you squared up, what does that mean?
He squared up.
Yeah, and?
So I squared up too. And then we got into a little altercation, and then he ran, and I chased him, and then I walked back to the dorm where we lived at, and he went and got security. Security told him he was trespassing, and then they talked to my wife about the incident.
Sit down. Should have let him take your daughter's stuff and leave.
She could take her stuff, Your Honor. We could have helped her.
It's fine. He was there. Shouldn't have made a fuss. And he got angry, and he actually precipitated whatever physical altercation there was. He didn't like what was going on. Didn't like the fact that you told him to leave. He told him to leave, and he wasn't leaving because he was going to help his girlfriend move.
But it was 10:30 at night.
Miss Cardenas, you have no case against him. That doesn't mean that your daughter is bright, that she's making the right career choices or the right male choices. You'd probably be much better off if you followed your mother's career path and decided before you had 4 children, maybe it's a good time to get some sort of a crafting that can take you for the next 30 years.
I start school in February, Your Honor.
Great. Where?
RCC.
Terrific. And where are the two of you living?
At the moment,
At the moment, that didn't work.
Homeless.
Mm-hmm.
Homeless.
Homeless.
Mm-hmm. That's why he wanted to stay at our dorm.
Good judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Alexandra Cardenas says her daughter's boyfriend, Garrick Crawford, caused her to be evicted from her home. Garrick is countersuing for harassment.
When you say you're homeless, 3 nights ago, where did you sleep?
In a hotel he bought for us.
In a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And 4 nights ago?
At a friend's house.
Sounds to me like the career choices and the social choices that you made have not been really grown up. Your
Well,
Honor.
there's reasons behind it because my mother pushes me towards that way. One, her house was too crowded and I decided to move out. And I was working, but I lost my job. And she's the one who got us evicted from our apartment. And he's the only one who's working right now.
I didn't get her evicted. He was abusive to her and the cops came. He hit her and the cops came.
Just to say, did that happen?
No, the cops came because of her restraining order and I had cops coming to my house.
I have a police report and the cops
I'd
came.
like to take a look at the police report.
I had cops coming to my house every week, knocking on my door.
Your mother said she has a police report that indicates that somebody complained, you or somebody else, that he hit you. Has he ever hit you?
No, he hasn't, Your Honor.
Did you ever tell the police he did?
No, I didn't.
She was a minor when he...
Shh. You say you have a police report that's going to show me that he assaulted her. That's what I want to look at.
I have the police report number and she was a minor. And so I had to go through court to get it.
Do you have it?
Here, show her this. I have a restraining order on him also.
I don't care. This is just a request for police report.
Yeah, because she was a minor.
I don't care.
मैंने शुरू किया है ये 10 मिनट का टाइमर और जब ये हो जाएगा 0 तब वो रूम जिसे आप अभी देख रहे हैं वो पैसों के साथ फट जाएगा और सिर्फ एक ही है जो इसे रोक सकता है और वो ही है जैकेट पहना हुआ आदमी और ये वीडियो पूरी तरह से रियल टाइम है। आप देख सकते हो कि ये एग्जैक्टली 10 मिनट का है, इसमें कोई कट नहीं है, आप सब देख सकते हो। और अगर डार्सी इस जैकेट से बाहर निकलकर इन 5 फ्लोर्स को पार करके इस बटन को नहीं दबा पाता, वो भी टाइमर 0 होने से पहले, तो इसके पैसे फट जाएंगे। वो नीचे आ रहा है क्योंकि ये हमारा सबसे पहला रियल टाइम शूट है। मुझे जल्दी जाना होगा। जल्दी अंदर आओ, चलो चलो जल्दी से खोलो। 1 मिनट, वो उस जैकेट से इतनी जल्दी कैसे निकल गया? फर्क नहीं पड़ता, ये अगला फ्लोर पार करना 2 गुना मुश्किल है। धीरे धीरे आराम से। ओ नहीं, तुमने वहाँ पर आग लगाई है। ओके सुनो, मेटल के पिंजरे को खोलने के लिए जमीन पर पड़े लॉक पिक को यूज करना होगा। जल्दी करो, डार्सी, कम ऑन। Come on! Oh my God! Come on! टूल होने के बावजूद लॉक को खोलना बहुत ही ट्रिकी होता है। तीनों पिन्स को परफेक्टली एक साथ लाकर ही वो बाहर आ सकता है। बाय द वे, ताकि आपको भरोसा हो सके कि ये वीडियो 100% रियल टाइम है, अभी से आप डार्सी का अनकट वाला शॉट इस वीडियो के कॉर्नर में देख सकते हैं। और इस वक्त 1 मिनट पूरा हो चुका है और वो अब तक पहले रूम में ही है। याद रहे, उसे इस टावर के 5 फ्लोर्स को पार करना होगा और वक्त से पहले वो बटन दबाना होगा। बटन यहाँ पर है, ताकि वो धमाके से अपने $2.5 लाख बचा सके। मुझे बहुत घबराहट हो रही है। जल्दी करो। ओ मैट, वो लॉक खोल रहा है। क्या वो सही वक्त से चल रहा है या नहीं? हाँ, अभी के लिए, पर आगे वो इससे भी मुश्किल रूम में जाने वाला है। जरा संभल कर, चल मत जाना। डार्सी, कम ऑन, चलो 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 जल्दी करो।
वो रस्सी से नीचे आ रहा है, अब वो ग्लू रूम में आ चुका है।
फ्लोर नंबर 4 में स्वागत है। कम ऑन। वो फ्लोर नंबर 4 में आ गया। ये है फ्लोर नंबर 4। ठीक है, तो ये पूरा फ्लोर ग्लू से भरा हुआ है। उसे या तो मंकी बार से जाना होगा या फिर इस ग्लू से गुजरना होगा। और मेरी सलाह ये है कि उसे इस ग्लू से नहीं गुजरना चाहिए। अब तक मंकी बार तो सही कर रहा है। चल कम ऑन डार्सी, जल्दी करो। 2 मिनट हो चुके हैं। ऊपर से चलते जाओ। ओ नहीं, ऐसे घूम क्यों रहे हो? घूमना बंद करो। अगर वो गिरा तो अच्छा नहीं होगा, क्योंकि ये दुनिया का सबसे चिपचिपा ग्लू है। मजाक नहीं कर रहा, उसके शूज चिपक जाएंगे।
अभी 2 मिनट बीत चुके हैं। देखो वो झूल रहा है, उसने एक बार भी जमीन को नहीं छुआ। सच में कमाल है, वो एग्जिट तक पहुंच भी गया।
देखो वो उसे खोलने वाला है और अब वो सबसे क्रेजी रूम में जाने वाला है। हमें नीचे ले चलो। देखते रहना, वो नीचे कूदेगा। ओह माय गॉश, मैं बहुत थक गया हूँ। ओ, उसे परेशानी हो रही है, पर वो रस्सी के सहारे फ्लोर 3 पर आ गया है, जो है बोल्डर रूम। ये रूम बहुत आसान होना चाहिए। ठीक है डार्सी, वो विशाल बोल्डर देख रहे हो? हाँ। खैर, वो 2 रस्सियां ही हैं जो उसे नीचे खिसकने से रोक रही हैं। वहाँ पर एक मशेटी भी है और कह सकते हैं बाहर निकलने के लिए तुम्हें उसकी जरूरत पड़ेगी। वक्त बीत रहा है, तुम उस नाइफ से क्या करने वाले हो? मैं ये रस्सियां काटूंगा। उन्हें जल्दी से काटो, वक्त खत्म हो रहा है। नॉर्मली जब हमारी वीडियोस में कोई इतना स्लोली काम करता है तो हम ये कट कर देते हैं, पर ये लाइव है तो हम ऐसा नहीं कर सकते। मुझे डर लग रहा है। 7 मिनट बचे हैं, उसने 2 रस्सियों में से एक को काट ही दिया है।
ये बिल्कुल जेम्स बॉन्ड मूवी जैसा है।
नीचे जाते जाते फ्लोर्स और मुश्किल होंगे और ज्यादा वक्त लगेगा, और वो उतनी तेजी से काम नहीं कर रहा जितनी तेजी से उसे करना चाहिए।
वो रस्सी काटना उसके लिए बहुत मुश्किल होगा क्योंकि वो बहुत ज्यादा मोटी है।
जल्दी से काटो।
ब्रो वो उस पे बहुत ज्यादा वक्त लगा रहा है।